Why would UFOs hover around schools? Do they want to study human beings as children and to learn about them, whilst knowing that they would not be shot at or attacked by them? Maybe they purposely want the children to witness them so the children would get used to the idea that UFOs and aliens do indeed exist. The following 4 incidences of UFO school sightings are probably the most famous over the last 50 years. Number 4, 1994, Ariel School, Ruwa, Zimbabwe. On the 14th of September 1994, a UFO streaked across the sky over southern Africa. 2 days later, something landed in a schoolyard in Ruwa, Zimbabwe. On Friday the 16th of September, at approximately 10:15 a.m, 62 children from the primary school in Ruwa were playing in a field for the mid-morning break. Suddenly, they saw 3 silver balls in the sky over the school and then started to move towards the school, with one of them landing over a section of rough ground. Later, about 10 or 12 older children were interviewed for BBC television. One student, called Barry, said he had seen 3 objects flying over with flashing red lights. They then landed near some gum trees. The object came down about 100 metres from the edge of the school playing field. Then a small man, approximately 1 metre in height, appeared on top of the object and was dressed in a shiny, tight-fitting black suit. He had a long, scrawny neck and huge eyes like a rugby ball, with a pale face and long black hair coming down below his shoulders. He then walked a little way across the rough ground, became aware of the children, and disappeared. Then the object took off very rapidly and then vanished. The children drew about 30 to 40 drawings, some of which are very explicit and clear. Most of the descriptions are similar, and the crafts were very obviously flying saucers. Number 3, 1977, Broadhaven Primary School, Pembrokeshire, Wales. On the February the 7th, 1977, 14 children at Broadhaven School, South Wales, had witnessed the UFO that had landed in the field close to the school, where 6 children reported seeing a humanoid figure. The sighting had frightened the pupils, who were adamant that they had witnessed something out of the ordinary. One pupil, called David, who was 10 years old, said that they were standing at the top end of the school playing field when the object was sighted, and he described a silver cigar-shaped object the size of a bus hovering up above the trees as if trying to take off. It seemed to stop for a few seconds and then disappeared back behind the trees. Another student, called Philip, said he was trying to get a close look when up from the bushes popped a cigar-shaped object. It was silvery, bright and humming. Another student, called Jeremy, described it as silvery green with a yellow-orange to red coloured light. It was a disc at the bottom and a dome and light on top. He stated that the sighting lasted not more than 5 minutes, and that when the object was on the ground, he saw a person in a silvery suit. Number 2, 1967, Crestview Elementary School, Miami, Florida. On a mostly clear day on the 7th of April 1967, hundreds of students and a few teachers at Crestview Elementary School witnessed 3 oval-shaped objects coming through the clouds. Teachers and students alike watched as the 2 smaller of the 3 oval objects appeared to be dancing around the larger oval-shaped object coming down towards them. The larger object seemed to be the size of a cruise ship, but its shape was oval and cigar-shaped with shiny metal, and the large object landed in the field near the school. Afterwards, one of the teachers talked to one of the students' mothers, who said that if you hear that something had landed next to the portable, it was true. She said that she was worried about her job, so she wasn't supposed to talk about it. The military soon appeared at the school and interviewed the teachers and students. As is the case with many other UFO sightings, the incident was hushed up and the local newspaper wrote it up as helicopters landing near the school. The students were allowed to go home early that day, and after a short time later, one of the students went to the field where the UFO had landed and found a field of weeds and grass that appeared to be charred and smashed into an oval shape and seemed to be the size of a large boat, the remains of something that had recently been lying there. Number 1, 1966. Westall High School, Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. Almost 1 year before the Crestview school incident, UFOs were sighted and one actually landed near Westall High School in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia on the 6th of April 1966. At approximately 11 a.m, a class of students and a teacher from Westall High School were playing on the main oval when an object described as being a grey saucer-shaped craft with a slight purple hue and being about the size of a family car was seen. Andrew Greenwood, a science teacher, told the local newspaper, the Dandenong Journal, that he saw a silvery green disc. According to witnesses, the object started to descend and then crossed and overflew the high school's southwest corner before disappearing from sight and came down behind some trees into a paddock in front of the school in an area called the Grange. Some of the students from the high school ran across the paddock and witnessed the UFO close up, with one student fainting as she approached the craft. After about 20 minutes, the object, with witnesses now numbering over 300, ascended and departed. Within minutes, the military arrived and forbade any contact with the media. A school teacher who had taken photos from inside the school had the film and camera confiscated by authorities. Now the teacher had become hysterical and was taken away in a straitjacket. The UFO had left burn marks on the ground and had been witnessed by a university student, but when he had returned the following day to show some friends, the whole area had been fenced off and the ground dug up. The next day, 2 men from the government interviewed a couple of students who had witnessed the UFOs. The students claimed that they were mocked and laughed at by the men as they tried to get them to deny what they had seen. As with previous UFO sightings, authorities said it was a weather balloon and the whole event had been hushed up for many years.